Right, hello guys, it's been a while since I've made a video because I've been going through a little depressive stage, which is strange because I haven't had depression for quite a number of years now, but sometimes it just creeps in on you, and that's basically what I want to talk about in this video, because a lot of you guys as well have experienced depression. I would say maybe it's 1 in 3 people have depression. Some people are depressed and they don't even know it, and they go out and try and do all these things because they think they're not doing the right thing, but sometimes it is just a chemical in your brain. Sometimes it is life and you can fix it. For me, I kind of developed depression in my late teens. I started to realise that all the things we're fed as children and all these dreams we have end up not being as real as we would like them. And we kind of sometimes fall into this little depressive stage where life's not bringing us what we want. All that excitement of being a child kind of goes away, and we start to become an adult with all the responsibilities and all the things we have to do that the society puts onto us. And then depression came on and off for me over the years. Sometimes I was depressed, then other times I'd be really happy, then other times I'd be anxious, then other times I'd be very fearful, and this kind of fluctuates throughout our lives. And lately, when I've had a little bit of relapse of depression, I've kind of realised that no matter what we do to try and stop this ebb and flow of depressive episodes and mental health states, the more I've realised that sometimes you can't stop this ebb and flow. It just happens, and sometimes just a thought can bring you out of it, and a lot of the times just a little thought can put you into it. Like for me, if I have one negative thought on a morning, I can go in a depressive state all day, even for days, even for weeks sometimes. So it's very easy for humans to get into this state, and I think the reason is because we're not fully being what we're supposed to be. Okay, society puts all these conditions on us, like doing a job we don't like. Okay, like being told to like being a certain way when that's not our true selves. There's all these conditions that are put on us, and it's not our natural state. And because it's not our natural state, our bodies and brains are kind of like fighting against this, and the fight sometimes becomes so hard that you kind of give up. Your mind gives up, and that's, to me, that's the depressive states we go in. But on the upside of this, without these depressive states, okay, we wouldn't know the good without the bad, you see. So the more depressive states you go through as a human, the more you appreciate the times when you're not depressed. Okay, when you eventually come out of it and you start doing something you love, and your life becomes absolutely amazing for a few months, a few years even, and then life's just a joy. And the more depressive states we go through, the more we experience this. But in my experience, eventually it comes back. And I realise that life has an ebb and flow to it, okay? Like, nothing remains the same. The law of change, in fact, is one of the only laws we can rely on as humans, because it always changes. Everything always changes. And a lot of people are trying to chase this dream of having this amazing life and trying to keep it as long as they can. But eventually, whatever they do, it always comes to an end. And then it's possible to fall back in that negative, depressive state again. And what I've realised lately is, after relapsing into this, that sometimes it's just life changing, and sometimes it's pushing you in a new direction. Okay, like lately I used to go out and I used to experience everything full on. Like I would be in the present moment, just looking at leaves, and everything was amazing. And then that lately has faded out. And I was thinking to myself, well, why has this faded out? Okay, why do I not see the beauty and the divinity in everything anymore? And then after a few weeks of this, I was realising that it's because my soul's trying to push us in a new direction. Okay, it's just trying to push us into more of a business direction. Okay, like more of a kind of planning the future and doing all these new things relating to money, etc., and business, and being productive in a different way. Okay, and this is part of the ebb and flow. So I think that once somebody's comfortable with something, it'll always end. Like, that's my experience. Whenever you become fully comfortable with something, it'll end eventually. But when it does end, I think it's important not to be really low about it, not to think, well, my life's ending, this is horrible, I can't deal with life anymore because everything I enjoyed is being taken away from us. It's more a case of like, it's going in a new direction now. Okay, and this is the law of change. Energy can only be transferred, it can't be eradicated. Okay, so it can only be transferred, and this is the ebb and flow of life. If everything stayed the same, I think it would get quite boring eventually. And that's just my experience, guys. But yeah, so lately the depression's come back a little bit, and I'm wondering why, and I'm like, what can I do to stop this depression? And sometimes just remembering how lucky you are to have food, okay, remembering how lucky you are to be in a society where you can go out and get a coffee, you can go out and do things, okay. And even with the lockdowns and everything, with the current situation with the so-called COVID, that's a positive thing, okay. When the original lockdowns happened, I was like in such a bad state. I was thinking, I'm not going to survive this. But then with time, I adapted to that, and then I ended up really enjoying it because I was enjoying the peace. Okay, everybody was indoors, and when I would go out, I would go to the local woods, I would go out in the car, just have a coffee at a local garage, and the peace was amazing. I was just enjoying that peacefulness, and I felt like the world was replenishing. So it's important to realise, guys, that all mental illnesses have a good side to them. Okay, this is no joke. All mental illnesses have a good side and a bad side to them. But because they're not the norm, okay, we're told that it's bad because it's not the norm. And what I mean by the norm is the way society portrays the norm to be. But in reality, everybody has these ups and downs and ebbs and flow of life, and this is why people hate the jobs. Okay, people go to work and they hate going to work. They wake up in the morning, they don't want to go to work, and then because they hate work so much, they end up going out on a weekend and spending all the wage on alcohol to escape that mental illness caused by them doing something that they don't want to do. And this is most people, guys. Look at cocaine. Look at all the drugs out there that people are relying on just to get through the day. Okay, I'm no exception. Okay, like, I take caffeine. I have 2-3 cups of coffee a day, which is not bad considering what some people have, but I need that caffeine sometimes. Okay, sometimes I can be in such a low state, when I have that coffee, it puts us on a positive momentum for the rest of the day, because sometimes your mind needs that little booster to put you on the right momentum. So I'm not saying all drugs are bad, guys, but what is bad is when you rely on these drugs just to do the things that you do each day in life, that society's telling you to do. Okay, this is bad. Okay, I know someone who sells cocaine. Okay, I know someone who sells cocaine, and most of their clients buy the cocaine while they're at work just to get through the shifts. Okay, this is crazy, just to get through the shifts, guys. So there's a lot of people out there reliant on all these stimulants, these drugs that are bad for you. I wouldn't even say cocaine's a good drug. Okay, there's a lot better substances out there which are better for your health. But this goes beyond mental health. Okay, this goes into societal norms and the pressures society puts on you to do what you don't want to do just for the sake of money. Okay, we really are slaves to money until we die, most people. Some people are lucky and they have so many depressive episodes, ups and downs, that they eventually find peace. Okay, some people find peace, and then they don't have to do all these mundane things that society tells them to do, because they're not reliant on money, because they're reliant on their own mind, and they realise that money doesn't necessarily bring happiness. But even then, you still get the ebbs and flows of life. Okay, sometimes you still feel depressed and you have to do something productive, because I've done this myself. Okay, I've been in these enlightened states for months, for years, and then all of a sudden it changes, the depression comes back, and it's telling us to do something new, because we need to be doing what we love doing in life, guys. Like, this is part of who we are. We need to be doing our joy, what we love doing. This is what makes us happy. If we're doing what we love doing, everything else is a bonus after that. If you make money off doing what you love doing, that's a bonus. Because the fact is, there only ever is the now. And the now is all that matters. And if you're doing what you love doing in the now, then nothing else matters, because there only ever is the now. Everything is simultaneous. And this is where it gets deeper, you see. It gets very, very deep when you go into the metaphysical aspects of societal norms and depression and anxiety and all these mental health illnesses that are here for a reason, so that we as a species can evolve past all these conditions, because it's society itself that creates all these conditions, and society is what needs to change in the future so we can flourish and be a lot happier and a more peaceful race. And the more we do this, the more we'll discover about ourselves, the more we'll discover about the universe, the more likely it is for extraterrestrials to come and show themselves to us, because we're now ready for it, because we've got rid of the egos and the fears that are all kind of created by societal norms. So a lot of it's just ignorance, you see, guys. And I've got mental health advisors for myself, because I suffer with many mental health illnesses, and they're very ignorant. Okay, they're just following a script. Everyone's just following a script. Nobody really understands it. But the thing about this is, if you've got mental illnesses and you feel like no one understands you, you have to realise this, guys, nobody's meant to understand you, because everybody's different. Everybody's seeing their own reality from their own subjective viewpoint. And there isn't a normal. Okay, there isn't a norm. Everybody's different. And that's a good thing. Everybody needs to be different. Because if everybody was the same, life would be boring. Okay, so everybody's got their own unique viewpoint. Do what you love doing. You've got to really push yourself to do what your inner joy tells you to do. Follow your highest joy at all times. When you do this, the universe responds, because the universe is a reflection of you. And everything that you love doing will start coming to you more. And when you get these depressive episodes, don't think of it as your happiness is disappearing and you're going to give up on life. You need to think of it as it's shifting to a new direction. What can I do to make myself happy and follow my joy now? And then eventually you'll start to flourish, and with you doing things you love doing, the universe will open up whole new possibilities, whole new realities that you didn't even know existed before. You see, because the whole point of this existence here is to find more of ourselves, and the more we go within, the more is shown without, because everything's already there, guys. Everything is already there. It's just a lot of us are blind to what's already there. And the only way we see what's already there is by going through these changes, depressive episodes, ups and downs of life, so that we can go deeper and try and find that inner joy. And when we eventually do that, which everybody does eventually, everybody's on the same ladder of evolution here, then we discover new aspects of reality that we didn't see before, and it's more to explore, because it's infinite, guys. This reality is infinite. It never ends. The evolutional process, spiritually, physically, mentally, never ends. It's just a constant new adventure. And it's important that you think of it as an adventure as well, guys, because that's really what does it for me. If I think of it as an adventure, everything's new things to explore, new avenues to go down, that's when life starts to flourish. I'm sorry this video is so long, guys. I just thought I'd get all this off my chest, and I hope it's helping you guys as well, because it's certainly helping me to get it off my chest. Because lately, I mean, it's a very, very complex thing, guys. Like, it's not easy to understand. Okay, the majority of people out there haven't experienced enough depression and anxiety and these mental health illnesses to even understand it yet. And a lot of these people are the ones in the professions who are meant to be dealing with this type of stuff. So it doesn't work like that, okay? There's nobody out there who's going to come and save you. It's all done by yourself. It's all done by your own mind. Nobody's going to come and save you. So it's all up to you. Okay, it's all up to you. It's what you focus on. Where your attention goes, energy flows. So if you wake up having a low day, okay, either just accept it and feel the low, realize that this low you're feeling is only going to lead to a high eventually anyway, okay, because every reaction has an exact and opposite reaction, which is one of the main laws of the universe. Either accept it or change it. You've got the choice, okay? Happiness can be a choice as well. You can focus on something you love doing and just go and do it. And eventually the momentum will build up, and eventually that'll kind of flourish into this amazing day. You can go from really low to being really high just by focusing your mind on something different, okay? Just by literally thinking in a different way. This is possible sometimes, but then again, sometimes it isn't possible. Sometimes you feel like you can't win because whatever you try and do, it doesn't overpower the low feeling you have. And if that happens, remember that this low feeling you're having is happening for a specific reason, because you have to feel that low in order to feel the high, but the high will eventually come again. Now, there's a lot of arguments in the spiritual communities about enlightenment and whether you can reach a point where you're so balanced that every day is high and you never have low again. Now, this is not something I've experienced, okay? And I've been through a lot in my life. I've felt very enlightened. I've been through a lot of depression. I've been through a lot of mental experiences, and I've got probably an aspect of nearly all mental health illnesses in us. And so far, I've never reached a point where I'm constantly happy. Okay? Like, it's just never happened. Never happened. Whether that's possible or not, I don't know, okay? And the reason I don't know because I've never experienced that yet. But when I do experience that, I'll tell you guys. But in the meantime, nah, I've never experienced that. And anybody that tells you that they do that, I would advise you to take it with a pinch of salt, okay? Like, watch them for months, even years. Follow them on YouTube. If they're a friend, watch what they're doing. And I dare say you'll notice that they still do have down days, they still do feel depressed, they still have problems in their life, whether these problems are caused by themselves or just the mind, okay, because a lot of people's problems are due to karma because of the things they're doing, because the law of karma is still not taught in society, as well as the other universal laws, which in my opinion should be the first thing taught to children when they go into primary school, is the universal laws and how everything works. But of course society wouldn't work if that was the case. People wouldn't be able to manipulate people into doing what they want them to do if everybody understood the universal laws. So this is a societal thing, guys, as well. It's a thing we have to evolve out of, and the only way we're going to evolve out of it is by going through these experiences, being like us, having mental health illnesses, having depressive episodes, going through anxiety. This is the only way that we're going to change as a species and flourish into the new future, which will be a lot more understanding, and life will just become better, guys. It's coming up to 20 minutes now. I'm going to end this video. Sorry it went on so long, guys. If you got bored, I'm really sorry about that, but I just had to get that off my chest. Hope it helped you anyway, and I'm going to focus more on mental health on this channel. I might even rename it to Lee Fox Advanced Mental Health rather than Advanced Spiritual Teachings, etc., because spiritual teachings are limited. There's a lot more people out there who need more help with mental health, because that's part of the spiritual awakening. So I'm going to focus more on that, guys. If you haven't subscribed to my new channel, Lee Fox, please do now. I'll leave the link in the description. I might put this on both channels, my old one and my new one. But thanks for your support, guys. Have a nice day, okay? And if you feel low, remember, it's okay, because every low eventually leads to a high anyway. And you do have a choice as well sometimes, so just try that out, guys. Okay, have a nice day. See you on the next video.